person. I don't mean it that way, but I mean, I was treated like royalty, and people really taking care of me. I'm not wiping a tear from my eye; I just had an itch. But the way they took care of me, and this old man, that's me. Um, I don't think I paid for a meal the entire time I was in any of those cities, and just had a blast talking to them. And of course, they all have questions, and I have some answers. I could answer every question. Doesn't mean that it's a right answer. A lot of times you don't know what the right answer is. For example, on Monday over there, I was asked a question at the Pensacola Gator Club. So they were on top of things. I wasn't. And they asked me if Jaden Hill had torn his ACL. And I'm like, well, I don't know the answer to that. I haven't kept up with it. I haven't been around it. So I've been searching. I went for 2 days and was searching for where the story was about that happening. And then I read a story saying that he had torn his ACL in high school, and maybe they were thinking of that. And then I made a couple calls, and I couldn't really get a straight answer. And then all of a sudden, Dan Mullen comes out yesterday and says, "Yep, he tore his ACL. He's done for the year." Again, like I knew the Cam Newbauer thing he was getting fired before it kind of became public knowledge. So I guess I kind of knew this before it was out there. I guess maybe if I was still a newspaper man, I would have pursued it a little harder. But the bottom line is I still got good sources, I guess, But of course, this source was just yelling at me from, back in the room. At any rate, it is certainly a blow for Florida. It's not a devastating blow. I know that Dan Mullen called it a massive disappointment, and it is because Jaden Hill started 5 games last year and actually was kind of one of those guys that was coming into his own. And you felt like was going to be, although I was talking to somebody about this yesterday, I said, I don't remember one great play that Jaden Hill made. But that's not necessarily, I mean, I'm not trying to be critical of the kid. I just don't remember it. Maybe it's because I have a bad memory. But certainly him being out, he'd already been named the starter at that spot, is going to change some things. And it's funny. It's not even that he's out. It's that now you've got less people that, because basically, look, everybody plays nickel now all the time. I mean, teams rarely play, 4 DBs. It's almost always 5 DBs. So you may have to move another guy you were going to play at nickel over to corner. We'll see how that all works out. Now, the good news for Florida is they have again struck on the transfer portal with 2 players. And one of them, they had already talked about Jadarius Perkins, who transferred in from Missouri. And then, of course, Elijah Blades was a story this week who said, I'm going to be at Florida on Fridays. And today's Friday. Where are you, brother? Come on, man. Let's go. There's a spot open for you. And there's also Jason Marshall, highly 4-star recruit. So it's not like they are going to take this massive step back in the secondary. Look, they can only step forward after the way they played last year. No doubt about it. They've got to play a lot better in the secondary. But I think that, you had a guy who had some experience and, like I said, started 5 games and kind of knew what to do back there. We got that one chance to interview him on a couple of weeks ago, I guess now. And really seemed like a really cool guy. I was kind of like getting to know him, even though we don't get to have any more in-person interviews because of what we're dealing with. But all that is a kind of a weird way to say this is not devastating for Florida or the defense, but it doesn't help. And it goes back to my mantra, which is the only news that comes out of fall camp is bad news. There's never any good news. And the reason is you can't believe the good news. I mean, guys can say, you wouldn't believe Emory Jones looks like Kyle Trask. He's playing just like him. Or he looks like Rex. Or somebody could say, Lorenzo Lingard's running over people, blah, blah, blah. All that stuff doesn't matter until you play football games. So good news, you're almost like, the only good news is no news. So if you have no news, that means nobody got hurt. And even if you delay it 3 days before you announce it. So, again, we'll see. Hopefully they can get through the rest of the camp. You still got 3 weeks to go till the first game, which would be on, 3 weeks and a day from today. But if you're listening to this on Saturday, you're saying 3 weeks exactly. By the way, one of the cool things about being out there in the Panhandle, or the number of people who came up to me and talked about how much they love the podcast. And I'm like, that's great to hear that people are into it. I mean, I know what our numbers look like, and they're really good. But it's good to know that people all over the state and all over the country are listening to the podcast to talk about Gator football. It's only going to get better, guys, I can tell you. Now we're here at Spurrier. We have our permanent home. We're going to continue. Our great advertisers are going to do a great job. I'm really looking forward to my Alex Wesley Construction 12-pack today. It's a good one, and Robbie's going to take part in that as well. But, it's just, and we have football games to talk about. In fact, one thing that we are going to do as we, as we get forward, in 3 weeks, basically, is we're going to have a game of the week that we're going to talk about, a high school game of the week, SEC game of the week, and then a national game of the week. That'll be sponsored by Hesser and Kipke. And they already now are, for now, they're sponsoring, they're one of the two sponsors for the Friday Football Fix. So excited about that. All right, so the other thing that came out this week, and there's been a lot going on. It feels like we're getting to that point where people, there's football games being played. Last night I had 2 TVs on. I haven't had 2 TVs on all summer. It's like I had them both going. I had a baseball game, feel a little Field of Dreams action over here, football game, NFL Network over here. I'm like, okay. Now, I didn't care who won either game, but it still was nice to have them on. So we're getting there. But, of course, the coaches poll came out, and everybody's about where you thought they would. And I saw somebody said, it's almost like they just took last year's poll, saved it, and pasted it up on this year's poll. And it's fine, but it's fine. Okay, this is what people think. It's what the coaches, they don't vote on it. Who was it that I heard the other day said that he actually lets his wife do the voting? Because she pays more attention to college football than he does. Because all these coaches, and look, the preseason poll may be the only one where they actually vote. During the season, I mean, these guys are done voting. They just, they got too much to worry about without going, let's see, 23, I could put Utah there. No, they aren't worried about anything like that, believe me. The only thing they worry about is how to stop third down. So the actual, voting is done usually by sports information guys or somebody that they just, or sometimes it could just be like a guy who works on the staff and has a lot of free time, and you go, hey, you're my designated voter this year. You're going to vote for the AP poll, and here's what I want. Let's say you're the coach at Alabama. I want Clemson 1 because and then Alabama 2. Make sure you put a second. After that, lean on the SEC a little bit. Other than that, whatever you do is fine. But it's still, I like the fact that, like, all right, so we get this Georgia-Clemson game on the first weekend, or the second weekend. I almost made a mistake there. Never call it week 0. It's week 1. Second weekend is when Florida plays its opening game against Florida Atlantic. Third weekend is a huge weekend. We will get to that down the road. It's the second weekend is going to be huge. But we'll see how all this stuff, but we'll have that matchup, Georgia and Clemson. It's 2 versus 5. Now you can say, who cares? Somebody's going to lose. That means they're going to drop. What harm does it do anybody? I wrote a whole thing about it today on WRUF on how it kind of drives me nuts, the people that get angry angry. They've got to wait until middle of October to do these polls. Well, they do with the college football committee, playoff committee. That's when they start. That's the one that matters. The AP poll, and I can say this now. I never would have said this before when I was a voter. It doesn't matter, but it's just fun. It's almost like, like when you get a pair of shoes and they come in or how about that? You get a nice pair of sunglasses, $100 sunglasses, and they come with some kind of a case. 90% of males in this country just throw them away, throw the case away. They never use it. We either wear them or they're laying by our seat. That's kind of what the AP and the coaches poll are. They're just kind of, we just throw it away. But it's there, though, and you can look at it anytime you want. I mean, I just think people get way too caught up in whether it's a good thing or not. All right. We have a ton to cover here at the Shackell Mercadante Studios at Spurrier's Gridiron Grille on Another Dooley Noted Podcast presented by Titan MRI. I'm getting all the sponsors in and giving them their due because we love them so much. They are the reason we keep doing this. And those of you who listen, all of you people that were talking, saying nice things about the podcast in the Panhandle, we appreciate you so much, and it's I love that everybody had great things to say. Next week I go to Jacksonville, we'll see what they say about the podcast, and then I go to Lakeland a couple of weeks after that. So I got a lot lined up, but it's that time of year. And I am feeling the adrenaline rush of a college football season about to come. It's like, I talked about this before, summer seems to drag and drag and drag. But when you get within 3 weeks, now you can see it. You can start to smell the cheap bourbon and cigars and tailgating food and stuff like that. Actually, I was smelling some really good food out here. So here at Spurrier's Gridiron Grille. All right, so we got to take a break. We'll bring in Robbie Andreu. We got a couple things to do. Remember that draft we did for the all-time Florida team where we were going to put teams against each other and we drafted. We did the offense. Today we're going to do the defense. We also have a great Alex Wesley Construction 12-pack for you as well. We'll get to all the other things more in the latter part of the show. Excited to be here. Excited to be anywhere. I'm actually going to play golf when I get done today. What a beautiful day. It is a good day. Actually playing in a tournament Saturday too, so kind of fun. All right. I should talk only in Spurrier's accents when I'm here. All right, Pat Dooley's here. All right, we'll be back with more of Another Dooley Noted Podcast live from the Shackell Mercadante Studios at Spurrier's Gridiron Grille.
Titan MRI, North Central Florida's premier independent diagnostic testing MRI facility. At Titan MRI, we're focused on you, the patient, having a great customer experience. Our MRI equipment is modern and 75% quieter than any unit in its class. And our MRI unit has one of the largest openings of any of the newer high-strength MRI units, which allows comfortable scanning for potential claustrophobic and larger patients. At Titan MRI, we look forward to serving you.
Car accidents, trucking accidents, motorcycle accidents, and wrongful death. If injured or killed by the negligence of others, who will fight for the compensation you deserve? Shackell Mercadante, 5 lawyers, more than 100 years of combined legal experience, millions in settlements and verdicts. Call Shackell Mercadante, 371-3000. Rebuilding lives.
Hello there, everybody. I'm Pat Dooley, of course, from Another Dooley Noted Podcast. And this is a great Adam Brewer, and he's just opened up a place here, Adam Brewer to go. What gave me the idea to do this, to have a to-go place?
We really like the fast concept, being able to get the barbecue. Now we have this new online ordering. So before it was a call ahead carry out, quick service. We have like a curbside kind of a deal where everything's ready to go for you. And then we thought, wow, we have a really great dine-in concept, but how can we make this streamlined for the customer and make it easy and accessible for all parts of town.
Adam's Ribco to go. Come on down and enjoy it. This is Pat Dooley encouraging you to become a member of the Gainesville Quarterback Club, the oldest organization anywhere dedicated to Gator football. The club meets weekly during football season with an impressive list of speakers, including Bobby Stoops, Phil Fulmer, Steve Spurrier this year. Meetings are held at the Best Western Gateway Grand, and they have a special offer for you. The first 3 meetings you can attend for only $100. Believe me, this is a bargain, and trust me, you'll have a good time. Get off the bench, and it's time to score for the Gators by joining the Gainesville Quarterback Club.
Great food, great atmosphere, a diverse menu, everything made from scratch, plenty of space, and locally owned. These are all the characteristics of a great restaurant, and you can find each and every one of them right here in Gainesville at Ballyhoo Grill. Ballyhoo Grill prepares all of their food fresh every day, from their salad dressing to their award-winning soups. Bring your family and enjoy dinner under the Tim Trebo Tiki Hut while listening to live music. Or if you're running low on time to eat out, they also deliver through Uber Eats, Bite Squad, and Postmates. A Gainesville staple that's been open for over 30 years. Check out Ballyhoo Grill on Facebook or at ballyhoogrill.com.
All right, welcome back to the Another Dooley Noted Podcast, presented, of course, by Titan MRI from the Shack Out and Mercandani Studios at Steve Spurrier Grill. So did I get enough
Gridiron
sponsors?
Grill, Pat.
Gridiron Grill.
Yeah.
Did I get enough sponsors in there?
Yeah, you could probably squeeze one more in there.
Well, let's squeeze one more in there.
Okay, let's do it.
Robbie Andreu's appearances are sponsored by Dr. Lauren Cartwright. OcalaFamilyDentistry.com is where you can go to find out about them. And we appreciate everything she's done. She's been with us since the beginning with this. And we continue to have some great sponsors that have stayed with us for a long time. We appreciate them so much. Robbie, I talked a little bit about in the opening. Obviously, Florida, my philosophy on camp.
Yeah.
No news is good news.
Yeah, you don't want the only news you got there is injuries. You don't want those. They've already had one.
Or bad, or you get the coach talk, or we're fired up. I mean, every time they play, like for one of these for the SEC, one of these SEC shows, and they're talking about, they're saying this and they're saying that. I'm like, I don't care what they're saying.
You know what the key is, Pat? Get to game week somehow.
So I know, exactly.
Somehow skate through without injuries or any bad news and get to game week.
That's the way we used to be when we were writing.
Yeah, because once you get to game week, you're in your routine and players are under control and nobody's getting hurt on the practice field usually. Yeah,
usually. Although Florida somehow has found a way sometimes. But obviously with the news about Jaden Hill, and I've been trying to kind of compartmentalize exactly what this means, because I didn't realize Jaden Hill started 5 games.
Yeah, he played a lot, Pat.
Until they announced it, that
but
he was going to be a starter.
The good thing is that he's out, which is bad for him, but for the Gators, the Blades kid, the transfer from A&M, is here now, apparently.
Right.
Ready to start practicing.
Yeah, I think he comes today.
Yeah, I think he'll start today. So that helps that you lose a corner, you gain a corner a few days later. So.
Yeah, Elijah Blades was a defensive back at, obviously, Texas A&M. Now, he's got stuff to learn.
Yeah.
There's no
But
question
he's an experienced guy, Pat.
Yeah.
He's played in the SEC. He knows what to expect. He should be able to step in and play right away.
Yeah, the funny thing is you can look at it, and if you want to be Mr. Cynical, you could say, Jaden Hill was a starting cornerback on a defense that finished 100th in passing. And now Elijah Blades is coming in here, and he was on a defense that Florida lit up.
Oh, they did.
And
they should have won
Alabama
that game.
lit up, So, we'll see. But, I talked about this before, but there are a lot of guys that, I think Jason Marshall's a guy that people were telling me is SEC ready, back in the –
But until you get them on the practice field, you just don't know.
And that's the way it is with everybody. With that goes back to what Dan was saying about Emory Jones in the first press conference he did. He said, "I know he's mature enough. I know he's talented enough. But I don't know what he's going to do when the game
until
starts."
they go out there on the opener and he plays the whole game, you're not going to know.
It is,
and even in that game, you may not know because you're not going to be playing a top flight opponent like they will, 2 weeks later.
Yeah, it's like Cardozo's always trying to tell me he knew Kyle Trask. He knew he would have no problem testing. But
the only person that did that was Lee McGriff.
Lee
McGriff is the one that did know.
Yes. Well, here's why Cardozo's telling me all this time, because he was an intern for him. So he could see inside of him. No. But but when they ran out in the field for the first time, we didn't know what to expect from Kyle Trask,
No,
and I don't think Dan Mullen did.
No. I think that his teammates had a good feel for it, or at least they said that afterward. But, until you go out and play, actually do it, you don't know.
Yeah, Lee McGriff was the guy who would be in our ear all the time.
Yeah,
and
years ago, like 2 or 3 years ago, he'd come out of a scrimmage and go, "I'll tell you, this Trask kid, he should be the guy."
Yeah,
and Lee was right.
Well, he's right about a lot of things.
Yeah, he's
There's
a
no
good judge of
question
talent.
Also, this week the coaches poll came out. I think the AP maybe Saturday.
I think it is too this weekend.
And I wrote about this in my the Friday Fivesome that I do for WRUF.com, which is up there. You can read it now. People that get mad about polls coming out.
Who cares on a preseason poll?
Exactly. And you know what? The polls are probably going to end up being pretty accurate.
Yeah.
Who did they pick? Alabama and Clemson.
Yeah.
Guess who's
Shocking,
going to probably be there? Alabama and Clemson.
Yeah.
But, I mean, they're just eye candy. There's something, they're like a little piece of candy for, all right, there's a little taste of it, and it's not the whole meal.
It's a summer fix, getting close to the fall.
But there are people who say this, it's bad because then you have a perception of where this team they can only move up so far, and that was the problem.
The only perception is when you start playing. Then it becomes the reality of what you are, and until you play, you don't know who you are.
Go win all your games, and then it still may not be enough, as UCF found out, because you're not playing against great teams.
Yeah.
And it's just the way it works. The system is set up. I'm not saying the system's right, but the polls really almost have nothing to do with it.
Yeah. Maybe they should just do a poll after the first 2 games of the season or something.
But it's something to talk about.
I've got no problem with the poll.
Sports Talk Radio would go in the tank.
I know.
If they had to do that. All right, so Robbie and I, one thing that we started doing, and then we kind of got sidetracked by our media day.
I've spent a long time since we did the offense.
I know. We did. We drafted our all-time offensive team. If we had, and again, this is a true draft, to come up with the team that we would want to put on the field in their prime. Now, I think if I pick, Burton Lawless, I don't know if I'd want him out there now.
Not now, no.
Yeah. But
he's older than we are.
Yeah, he is. He's a good guy too. I saw him in Waco one year.
Did he ever recover from that track accident he had?
He did, but he still had some problems. Yeah,
I remember it was bad. Fell on his neck.
Yeah, fell on his neck.
Oh.
Bad deal.
He was a great player though.
Tremendous player. So we're going to do defense today, and 4 linemen, 3 linebackers, 4 DBs. I take the conventional way. And if you want to be bold enough, Robbie, you can do 2 corners and 2 safeties and 2 Ds and 2 DTs.
Okay, I can do whatever I want.
That's the way a system is set up to play. We're supposed to play it that way.
Okay.
So you, as usual, as my guest.
It's only fair.
Sponsored by Dr. Lauren Cartwright.
Yes.
You are allowed to have the first pick, and then I get the next 2. So pick away, Robbie.
Okay, my first pick is a no-brainer. Wilbur Marshall.
Okay.
You're angry about that one, aren't you?
Thanks for nothing there. Okay. Well, then I'm going to go with another linebacker.
Okay.
And I'm going to take Scott Brantley.
Well, you only got that because I mentioned him earlier.
Thanks for reminding me of him. And then I'm going to go. I'm going to go with Alex Brown at DE.
Okay.
The leading pass rusher in the history of Florida football. We're going to talk about him a little bit later too in the show.
Okay.
So now you get 2 picks.
Okay, I'm going to go with Jack Youngblood as an end.
Ooh. Okay. So you went with a Ring of Honor guy, and I didn't. Maybe that shows you how I feel about the Ring of Honor.
Yeah, you've been down on it all the time. But you were the one that wanted it in the first place.
I'm the one who invented it.
Yeah.
No, I don't get any credit for inventing the Ring of Honor. I did invent it, but I don't like the way they're doing it.
Yeah, I get you.
Just my opinion.
Can I get another pick?
No, you don't get a pick.
I thought I'd get 2 after you got 2.
Yeah, okay.
Okay, Javon Curse.
Well, wait a minute. Okay. Now, where are you putting him? A linebacker?
Yeah.
Dang it. That's not fair, Robbie. All right. So now
it is what it is.
Now I get 2 more. Okay, so I'm going to go with David Little.
That's a good one. I had him on my list.
Now, the problem I have is I've got not mobile linebackers who will just knock the poop out of you.
Yeah.
So I probably need to get a little more mobile on that on the other defensive end. But instead, I'm going to go with Lewis Oliver. We're just going to knock the crap out of everybody.
That's a good idea.
Nobody's going to want to play my defense.
No, nor mine.
Nobody's going to want to play mine. We're going to go boom, boom, boom.
But you're not going to run well enough to play with my defense.
Well,
okay, we'll 2 picks
see.
now?
Yeah.
2 or 1?
Pick 2.
Pick 2. Kevin Carter, defensive end.
Nice.
Lito Shepherd, cornerback.
God dang it. All right. That's a pretty good defense you got going there.
Not bad.
Pretty good defense. All right, so I'm going to go with David Galloway in the middle.
That's a good one. He was on my list.
Yeah, in the middle to help those guys get done. And then I'm going to take my other safety. He's going to be Reggie Nelson.
Good one.
So now you can't run on us and you can't throw deep.
No. So what
We're not giving up any points.
What have I got now?
You still need 2 tackles, a linebacker, a corner, and 2 safeties and a punter.
Okay, Ralph Ortega, linebacker.
Ralph Ortega. I love Ortega.
And I'm going to do Gerard Warren, defensive tackle.
That's a good one. Dang it, Robbie. You're killing me on this.
That's the idea.
All right. Well, I still need a tackle, and I still need a rush in.
I just need 1 lineman now, right? A tackle.
Yeah.
Okay.
Boy, I'm gonna go corner. I'm gonna go Kiwan.
That's a good one.
I'm gonna go Kiwan, and then I was thinking about taking Ortega's partner there in crime.
Yeah, Glenn Cameron. Yeah,
who was a really good player, obviously.
he was probably a better pro than college player, though. Pat.
Yeah, he was.
But he was a good college player. He made All-Americans. So.
Yeah, I need a little quickness in this front 7. So, boy, that Gerard Warren pick was really hurt me. It stuck me.
It did. It got you good.
Yeah. So I think I am going to finish out my back end, and I'm going to go. Oh, I can't pick him. I was going to say Tyson Seaver just to bring back some memories.
That'd been a good one.
Bring back some memories.
I almost went Robin Fisher on defensive line.
Yeah.
Oh, I can still do that.
You still could do that. I think I'm going to go looking for.
Okay, your clock is running out, Pat.
It's a hard call. I'm trying to pick between guys that are really good players. But I'm going to go with him. My man, never weary, Fred Weary.
Fred wasn't weary on that play, Coach, was he? Remember
Who asked that question?
The CBS reporter. What's her name?
Was it?
Fred wasn't weary on the interception, was he, Coach?
Was it? This was before Tracy Wolf.
Yeah, it was. I think it was before her.
Yeah. Fred wasn't weary.
Okay, I get 2?
No, I just picked 1.
Oh.
All right, I am going to go with Jarvis Moss.
That's a good one. He was a one-year player.
Yeah, but boy, what a year.
Yeah, true.
What a year he had.
Okay, you ready?
Yep.
I am Vernon Hargraves Jr., corner.
Okay, VH3.
Major Wright, safety.
Ooh. All right, this is where, my secondary is complete, right? All I need is
I need another safety.
Yeah, I need a linebacker and a punter is all I have left to pick. So I'm going to go Brandon Seiler.
That's a good
I've been
one.
thinking about picking. Now, all right, we're not quick on the linebacker position.
Yeah, you kind of are
But
thuggish.
you can't get past us. And we're going to bring those ends from around the corner.
Okay.
And just kill you that way. I still need another tackle too. But I'm going to pick.
I need a tackle too.
I'm going to pick a punter, and I'm going to go with Johnny Townsend. So you have to pick a punter. So you need a tackle, a safety, and a punter.
A tackle, a safety, and a punter.
And all I need left is a tackle.
Let me think here.
Well, I'm just trying to think of the best players on the best teams.
Yeah.
You know, and I was thinking about.
Okay,
this.
I got my safety.
Okay, go ahead.
Jarvis Williams.
Okay.
Remember,
Yeah.
didn't he knock Melvin Bratton out in that one game?
Nobody's throwing on your secondary. I can tell you
No.
that. And they're gonna.
Now I need a punter and a
people.
defensive tackle.
Yeah.
Ray Criswell.
Criswell.
Yeah,
All right.
punter.
Okay, so I was sitting there trying to think of the best players on the 3 championship teams, and I was trying to think who were the best, who were the tackles that were so good on those teams. But it was always about the ends on those teams.
Yeah.
You know, whether it was Moss, whether
Ray
it was,
McDonald was good though at tackle.
well, and it depends. You know, he kind of played. both.
He was a hybrid kind of.
I'm not going to take him because you just gave him to me, or else I would take him.
You can take him. I wasn't going to take him.
Okay, I'm taking him. Ray McDonald, and that'll give us a little quickness in that front
Yeah.
too. So you're down to your tackle.
And I'm going to go quickness, power, strength, speed, Darren Mickle.
Ooh,
Put that in your pipe.
Darren Mickle, who never did that much at Florida,
But when he
was-
played, he was dominant.
and he turned into a great
And
defensive.
you said
end.
in their prime, so in his prime, there was probably nobody better at that position.
You're right. All right. Well, those are our teams, and we picked the offense before, and
But it shows you how much talent on defense that we had 2 different teams that are both loaded.
loaded. And we look at the guys that we've ignored.
Who did we leave off?
Well, there's all kinds of defensive backs.
Oh, I know.
Steve
DBU.
Cannon, who was just a guest on
I
my
know.
show.
All-American. We left him off. We left
Yeah.
off Bruce Bennett, All-American safety.
All-American. Yeah, there's a lot of guys we did leave
One of your favorites, Tyson Seaver.
The joke about Tyson Seaver is that Robbie and I, when we were kind of getting to know each other as friends, that he was one of our favorite players.
Oh, we loved him. Number 21.
Number 21, yeah.
Yeah.
And he ran back punts. He was a
Yeah.
great punt returner. But I already got punt. I got Keywan and Lido. I don't need any more punt
No,
returners.
you're right.
on my team. So anyway, that was a fun exercise we did a while back. Before I let Robbie go, though, there is one other thing I wanted to do with him, and because he was a big part of this when we first did it. This was, well, gosh, it would be 15 years ago now, right?
Oh, yeah.
Am I doing the math right? 15 years ago, 2006. We came out with the, because it was the 100th anniversary of Florida football, we had the 100 greatest skaters of all time. So we're talking nothing but history here, but
think of how many players would be on that list now that have come since.
So,
Like,
well, wait.
Okay. I got you.
For the Alex Wesley Construction 12-pack, which we do every Monday here.
Oh, this will be good.
And we appreciate Alex Wesley so much for jumping on board with us. We're going to give you the 12 that I am putting on that list. If we updated the list of the greatest Gator football players of all time. So
So do you knock people out of the top 100, or do you add 12 more to make it 100?
I think my man Hal Griffin may get knocked out of there
he
somewhere.
could, yeah.
I mean, he was a great punt returner.
Yeah.
He was a great Gator, but he
Yeah.
played a long, long time ago.
Yeah.
But there are some guys like that. Yeah, I would have to, if I did all
You would
100,
bump people?
I would have to bump people out. And
Yeah.
that's one reason I wouldn't do it. But I am going to bump people out of the top 12 here. There are several players that are more modern, or I don't
That
say
definitely
modern
belong at
day.
the top, and I can think of a few of them right now.
Okay, so let's start with number 1. Let's think about who that might be.
Timmy,
Little Timmy
that
Tebow.
tight end for the Jaguars.
And you know, the funny thing is, I was thinking about this. These guys, because they just did, I know that Bruce Feldman did his thing with freaks. You could almost make an argument all these guys are freaks too.
Oh, yeah. Tebow especially.
Yeah. Number 2 is Danny Werfel. Danny Werfel was number 1 on our original list, and it is a hard argument whether who was better. But with what Tebow did, not only winning 2 national championships, but also just his ability to
Bring a
change
team
the
together.
game
Yeah, he really
in
did.
so many ways.
Yeah, Pat, I mean, you look at Tebow, too, and I think most people will tell you he's one of the greatest players in college football history. There's no question about it. I don't care what he's done as a pro. As a
Hey,
college player, he was unbelievable.
Look who I'm getting a call from. He wants to get on the list.
Oh,
so I'm
Doran.
not going to take it down.
Dorian's got a touchdown.
He didn't make the
Dooley's
list.
got a phone call.
Yeah. But, okay, so, Tebow generational player.
Yeah.
Danny Werfel was a amazing player, and that's why he was number 1 originally. Number 3 on our list is Percy Harvin. That is a guy that I can make an argument is the best player to ever play at Florida. But
When he was healthy, yeah, he was.
I still think those two guys are better. But any list now that wouldn't have Percy in the top 12, forget it.
Yeah, no way.
Number 4, Wilbur. We talked about Wilbur before.
Just a
dynamic
total
player.
game changer.
God. Were you at the game, the USC game?
Oh, yeah.
I
That
don't-
was when Charlie Pell, after the game, came out and took a victory lap.
Yeah.
It was really unbelievable. But Wilbur Marshall was phenomenal that day.
I remember Wilbur telling me he couldn't take a victory lap. He said all he wanted to do was go leg.
He left it on
Lay
the field.
down.
Yeah.
There was nothing left.
That's what Wilbur, that's how he played, though.
Run around those
College,
ends.
pro, that's
Yep.
the way he played.
All right, number 5 is Steve Spurrier. And I'll tell you, if you just go by stats, no. He's nowhere near
Because
some of these
back
guys'
then, the
stats.
stats were nothing compared to modern day.
But the other thing is Steve used to call his own game.
Yeah.
You know,
He'd
and-
draw plays in the dirt.
and won the Heisman,
Yeah.
the first ever Heisman at Florida. And so this doesn't have anything to do with coaching, but I still believe that he belongs up there. And
I do, too.
I believe there was a field goal involved.
Yeah. And you can't have a Heisman winner not in your top 5.
No.
You know what I'm saying?
Well, I got all 3 of them in there.
Yeah, they should be in
6 is Emmett, and some people say I'm too low. I think I'm too high.
You do?
Based on his college career. But then you go back and you look at his college career, and it was great. It's just the trouble was they were 20 and 14.
Yeah, they weren't very good, and the offense really wasn't very good, Pat. I mean, they didn't have much of a passing game
Yep.
to help him out. And that year when the quarterbacks got hurt was 89. It was
Oh.
hopeless trying to run against teams like Auburn and Georgia.
Yeah, remember Kyle Morris? Did Kyle Morris?
He got hurt. Though he got the gambling thing.
No, but he got hurt the year before.
He did.
Remember
yeah.
he hit his finger on a helmet
Yeah.
against Memphis. I
Memphis,
believe it
yeah.
was.
And Emmett got hurt in the same game.
Yeah, that's right. Oh,
Right when they were starting to come together, that team, offensively.
People who complain about 8 and 4 teams, I'm like, I have
Yeah.
no idea.
10-1, just remember that.
Yeah. And number 7, Kyle Pitts. I mean, Kyle Pitts is the best tight end to ever play at
He's
Florida.
a generational player, Pat.
And
to
he
me.
is freaky. He
Yeah.
is a freak
Yeah.
and still is a freak. Number 8, Lomas Brown, who Robbie and I both agree is the best offensive lineman to ever play
And
at
I don't even
Florida.
think it's close, Pat. He's way up there.
Should be in the Ring of Honor, but until he gets in the Hall of Fame, he can't get in the Ring of Honor.
Yes.
This is where I get
This
freaky.
he needs to be in the Ring of Honor.
Yeah,
There's no question.
Somebody, Scott Strickland, somebody needs to just step up and go, we're changing the criteria. And look, we're just going to put Lomas in, and I don't care what anybody says. Lomas
Yeah.
should
And
be
I don't
in
think
the Ring of
anybody's
Honor.
going to argue with that decision.
I
either.
wouldn't.
No.
In fact, the only other lineman that I would even say is in the same class is Marquise Pouncey. But
Yeah.
Lomas was playing tackle,
Yeah.
and,
Left tackle.
and doing
And he
all
played
that.
as a true freshman.
Number 9, Javon Curse, the ultimate freak, the man
The first
who was
Florida freak, really.
the man who invented the word freak.
Yeah.
And I just remember that year in '98 when Bobby Stoops just said, Javon, here's what we're going to do. We're not going to rush you that much. We are going to have you be on the line of scrimmage, and anybody who tries to throw the ball your way,
go get 'em.
just knock it down.
Yeah.
And then if they throw a little, you go tackle 'em. And he had a great year. That was we had Ed Chester on the other day, on Monday, and we were talking about how great that '98 defense was.
It was-
even losing
yeah.
Ed Chester
Oh, I
during the
know.
season.
Yeah. Early in the year. For opener, I think. Wasn't it the opener he got hurt?
No, it was LSU.
Oh, okay, that's
LSU
right.
game.
Early in that game.
You know, and those of you who watched the podcast the other day know this. That Ed Chester said when the doctor told him he might have to take his leg.
I know, I remember that
And I
because
was
that
like,
major
"Oh,
artery.
Man, he said, when they said you're going to keep your leg, I don't care about playing anymore. This is great. I feel good. All right, number 10, Jack Youngblood, who of course is also in the Ring of Honor and in the
Pro
NFL
Football Hall of Fame.
and great player, no question about it. Also a great guy. Wrote the foreword for one of my books. And number 11, who I vaulted in there, was Reggie Nelson.
I get that one.
Because he was the ultimate eraser. There was
Yeah.
nobody. I'll never forget that.
The Tennessee game, you're going to say.
Yep.
Yeah, it was amazing.
Tennessee game.
Looked like a touchdown.
We're like, oh no, that guy's wide open. It's going to be 7-0.
And he was wide open.
First play of the game, and all of a sudden Reggie Nelson comes out of nowhere and picks it off.
It was amazing.
It was.
Yeah, from the press box, you're thinking, oh, there's a quick six for
Yep,
Tennessee.
exactly.
Nope.
And then finally, Alex Brown. And the number one reason Alex Brown is up there, which he should be up there,
all-time sack leader.
Sack leader.
He had a Wilbur game, too, against Tennessee that year.
Well, he did against Georgia, too. He had 5 sacks. But when we did this list, we actually put Alex Brown way too low. It was like in the 40s.
He wasn't happy about that, was he?
And I'm at the Super Bowl, and I'm waiting to talk to him, and he just looks at me and goes, number 43. And like,
Pat, what were you thinking?
All the media boys were like, what's 43? And he goes, number 43. And I literally went, Robbie did it.
Thanks.
Right under the bus. Boom.
Even though I didn't do it.
Yeah, no, you didn't do it.
But I probably contributed to it.
Yep. All right, so that would be our list right now. I think you agree with most of those, Robbie.
I definitely
Anybody you would that I left out that you would put in there?
Not really, Pat. Who was on my team? Go back over that. There might be somebody on my team.
Yeah, I mean, I think you might make an argument about
Lito Shepard.
A lot of those guys are in there. Lito.
That'd be one that I would think.
Lito would be
consider.
Yeah. Lito
to me, he was the best pure cornerback that Florida's ever had.
Yeah, I don't disagree with you on that. That's probably pretty accurate. All right. We'll let Robbie go. We'll come back, and we of course, we have a lot of things still left to do. The Adams Ribco to Go Gator of the Week. The Leonardo's at Millhopper Quick Picks. We're in football season now, so the picks are going to be a lot more enjoyable.
It's going to be great now, yeah.
Yeah, and of course, hand law of 3 things, and Robbie's favorite segment, This, That, and the Other. They actually have an item on the menu here called This, That,
They
and the
do?
Other. Yeah, I don't know what it is. What's in it?
Don't they have a beer called 52 to 20?
Yeah. Crab and lobster cakes? Is This, That, and the Other? That is this.
That is a good This, That, and the Other.
And the Other. We have that to do as well. All that coming up.
You know what they should name a dessert? Time to head to the house.
Well, that's right.
Spurrier always said that.
I had a great name for something, but I don't think they did it. I haven't seen it yet. The Ike and Riddell catch of the day.
That'd be really good.
Yeah, but they haven't done that, so I'm mad. I'm upset. I'm gonna have to get in the.
Well, get in there and make something happen.
I'll get in the HBC's face.
Yeah, I'm sure you will.
Right. All right, so that'll do it for Robbie's segment. We always enjoy having him on, sponsored by Dr. Lauren Cartwright, OcalaFamilyDentistry.com. We'll be back with more of Another Dooley Noted Podcast from the Shackow and Mercadante Studios at Spurrier's Gridiron Grille. Hello there, everybody. I'm Pat Dooley, of course, from Another Dooley Noted Podcast. And this is a great Adam brewer, and he's just opened up a place here, Adam Ribco to Go. What gave you the idea to do this, to have a to-go place?
We really like the fast concept, being able to get the barbecue. Now we have this new online ordering. So before it was a call ahead carry out, quick service. We have like a curbside kind of a deal where everything's ready to go for you. And then we thought, wow, we have a really great dine-in concept, but how can we make this streamlined for the customer and make it easy and accessible for all parts of town?
Adam's Ribco to Go. Come on down and enjoy it.
Great food, great atmosphere, a diverse menu, everything made from scratch, plenty of space, and locally owned. These are all the characteristics of a great restaurant, and you can find each and every one of them right here in Gainesville at Ballyhoo Grill. Ballyhoo Grill prepares all of their food fresh every day, from their salad dressing to their award-winning soups. Bring your family and enjoy dinner under the Tim Trebo Tiki Hut while listening to live music. Or if you're running low on time to eat out, they also deliver through Uber Eats, Bite Squad, and Postmates. A Gainesville staple that's been open for over 30 years. Check out Ballyhoo Grill on Facebook or at ballyhoogrill.com.
Car accidents, trucking accidents, motorcycle accidents, and wrongful death. If injured or killed by the negligence of others, who will fight for the compensation you deserve? Shackow and Mercadante, 5 lawyers, more than 100 years of combined legal experience, millions in settlements and verdicts. Call Shackow and Mercadante, 371-3000. Rebuilding lives.
Titan MRI, North Central Florida's premier independent diagnostic testing MRI facility. At Titan MRI, we're focused on you, the patient, having a great customer experience. Our MRI equipment is modern and 75% quieter than any unit in its class. And our MRI unit has one of the largest openings of any of the newer high-strength MRI units, which allows comfortable scanning for potential claustrophobic and larger patients. At Titan MRI, we look forward to serving you.
This is Pat Dooley encouraging you to become a member of the Gainesville Quarterback Club, the oldest organization anywhere dedicated to Gator football. The club meets weekly during football season with an impressive list of speakers, including Bobby Stoops, Phil Fulmer, Steve Spurrier this year. Meetings are held at the Best Western Gateway Grand, and they have a special offer for you. The first 3 meetings you can attend for only $100. Believe me, this is a bargain, and trust me, you'll have a good time. Get off the bench, and it's time to score for the Gators by joining the Gainesville Quarterback Club. Okay, welcome back to another Dooley Noted Podcast presented by Titan MRI from the Shaq Allen Mercandone Studios in the Coaches Podcast Room at Spurrier's Gridiron Grille. So we're happy to be here, and it's funny because I've been here twice for a couple different things, and I didn't really look around, to be honest with you. I was just concentrating on the people that were there, and different other things that I was making sure the bar was in good shape. You know me, I got to make sure the bar is a good sitting bar to watch sports. But today, before we did the show, I went and looked around at some of the stuff. It's amazing. It really is a museum with great food and everything. So, big fan of this place. And as I knew, it's funny. HBC did call me the other day. He was not happy with something that somebody had written, and we had a little talk about it. But he still cracks me up, and he still cares what people say about him. All right, so here's the thing, okay? Let me explain this the best way I can. I think after a trip to the West Coast and a trip to the Panhandle, where there's, they don't have regular time over there. Panhandle is different. And your phone doesn't change when you go to Panama City, but then it does when you go to Destin, even though in Panama City it has changed. Anyway, it's a long-winded way of explaining. I forgot what day this is. It is Friday, right? We are sure it's Friday. Okay. I'm going to get back on a regular schedule Monday. But in doing so, the Alex Wesley Construction 12-pack, which we love them being on, is supposed to be on Mondays. And I did it today. We'll do another one on Monday. It's no problem. I love doing them. They're a lot of fun to do. In fact, I may go to the one I originally thought about doing Monday, but I'll save that as a surprise for you. And this, that, and the other, which we talked about, which again is crab meat and what was the other thing? Crab and lobster cake. Lobster cake, okay, is actually supposed to be on Monday as well. So, and look, you know what's funny? I didn't have a problem crossing this one out. It wasn't a good one. I don't know, maybe psychologically, I knew that it wasn't going to be a good one. So, we do have, of course, the Friday football fix, which we need to get to, as well as the other things we always do. All right, so let's go with the Friday. Let's go with the Friday football fix. The Friday football fix, of course, is presented by the Gainesville Quarterback Club and by Hesser and Kipke, Gainesville law firm, which specializes in family law and workers' comp. It's funny. I'm sitting here as we're doing the show, trying to come up with. I can't find it now. I left my sheet with the hand law thing, but I'll remember eventually. Okay, so here's a Friday football fix today. Cole Kubila came out. He does this every year and he does it on Twitter. And he does it, and Cole we've had on as a guest was great. He does his breakout players for the year in the SEC. And it caught my eye for the obvious reason when you see it, the number one player was Gervon Dexter. And I totally agree with that. I think Gervon Dexter may be about to have a dynamic season. I like Florida's front seven. I really do. I think it could be good. Now, I know that last year was a real problem, obviously, with Campbell being out for part of the season, didn't help. But it was Brenton Cox kind of being a college player really for the first time. It was Zachary Carter kind of trying to figure out things. They just didn't have enough meat up the middle. I think that front seven is going to be – I think Gervon Dexter is going to be an amazing player. this year. And then you add, I think Cox is, I love their front seven. I think their front seven is maybe the biggest reason why I think this team, it's kind of funny. They're ranked in the top 15 in the country, and they will be in the AP poll too. And yet nobody thinks they're any good. I'm trying to figure that out. Why does everybody, Florida's going to take a step back to 13th? Well, what were they ranked at the end of last year? 13th. So I get that your polls we talked about this before, but the polls there's not a lot of imagination put into them, but it's one thing or the other. Either Florida is going to take a step back or they're not, or maybe they take a step forward. Maybe they can count on a defense. I think they will, but it's the number one reason I like this Florida team, probably more than a lot of people do, is I like that front seven. I think they're going to be good. So Gervon Dexter was one of them. Adam Anderson, the Georgia outside linebacker from Alabama. Tim Smith, the defensive tackle. And, they just breed them over there. They just get one after another. Every year they get guys you go, who's that guy? Next thing you know, he's an all-SEC player. LSU's Joseph Evans, who's also a defensive lineman. Those are the top four of his breakout guys. But here on the Friday Football Fix, we like to bring you some of these kind of things. Next week, I'm sure we're going to do some spreads for some other games. Yeah, because then we'll be 2 weeks away from the first Friday night. Or actually, we'll be a week away from the first Friday night. Holy crap. I'm excited. So that is our Friday Football Fix. Let us get to the Hand Law 3 Things. And, of course, 3 Things is sponsored by Hand Law, which is available for consultation in Jacksonville. They specialize in government, and you can reach them at www.hand.law.com. And it's hand, anyway. See, I need that, hand.law.com. Okay. No com. Hand.law. Whatever. Next week, I promise you I will have my sheet so I can say it in a perfect way. But we love Chris Hand up there. He does a tremendous job and has been a sponsor of 3 Things for a long time now. We are so happy to have him. Number one, this is a way, I know people are like losing their minds over NIL for different reasons, and they're all worried it's going to ruin the sport and everything. But here's one of the great things about it, is you can use it for good. And that's what's happened out of BYU. Now, BYU has no law. There's no state law, so they can just do whatever they want, basically. Within reason, okay? But this is a great thing. They are sponsoring the scholarships for all the walk-ons at BYU. 30-something of them. Well, I'm surprised they had that many walk-ons. But, yeah, you have a lot of walk-ons, and most of them do nothing more than be practice fodder. It was sponsored by, and I'll get this, Breitbart bar, I think is the name of it, where it's not Breitbart, but it's a protein bar. And that is really cool. And then walk-ons, which is, I think it was started by a former walk-on at LSU, is also doing something similar where they're going to, pay money to a walk-on, different walk-on. They're going to kind of go around to the different schools, which is really cool too. So these are the kind of good things that can happen. I'm curious whether we'll see any of this happen like in some of the other sports where you say, hey, look, I know you can only have 11.5 scholarships in baseball, 11.7, but we're going to pay for a couple extra scholarships. We are Coca-Cola, whoever it is, Diet Coke. That's my drink. So it is actually a pretty cool thing that they're doing as well. All right, number 2, if anything ever told you about how ineffective the NCAA was, it was the Baylor report, in which they gave him 4 months probation for NCAA violations. But they said, hey, look, we can't punish your looking the other way on sexual assault. That's not in our rules. Time out here. So the coach looked the other way on sexual assault and enabled, but we can't punish you for that. We're not going to bother. Now, Art Briles has been punished. He lost his job. Nobody will hire him other than high schools. But if that doesn't tell you what the NCAA will just drive you nuts. It will, but of course it's starting to fade away into the sea. And finally, number 3, the Field of Dreams game was last night, and all of a sudden it sponsored this debate all over the radio and different places about if Field of Dreams is overrated, the movie. And it was cool. I watched the game. Field of Dreams is a really good movie. I like it a lot. It's not my favorite baseball movie. The Natural is my favorite baseball movie. It's not my top 20 of favorite movies, but it's a really good movie. It's okay not to say, this is the greatest movie. Oh, I cried when he wanted to play catch with his dad. It's okay to be that guy. But, you know, people just lose their minds if you say, it's not, oh, you told me you didn't cry. I didn't cry. I did play catch with my dad. I didn't have a problem with it. We play catch all the time. Maybe I would cry now if I saw it again because my dad just passed away. All right, so that is Handle Law's 3 things, and I promise you, Chris, I'll get all the numbers right next time. I'll get the whole thing right. All right, the Adams Ribco to Go Gator of the Week. Thanks so much to Adams Ribco to Go. Actually went there Thursday, and you know what's funny? The people that were there didn't know me because it wasn't Adam, it wasn't his wonderful wife, it was just people working there, like people work. And I got the ribs because I was in a mood for ribs. I think they gave me extra ribs, man, and I ate every one of them. It was like the Flintstones. I was just eating these big brontosaurus ribs. It was so good. Thanks so much to Adam for sponsoring the Gator of the Week. And the Gator of the Week this week is Chris Armstrong. For those of you who have been following it, maybe you have, he just finished up playing in one of the summer leagues and hit 308 with 7 homers in just 25 games, 21 RBIs. So Chris Armstrong had a great summer. He needs to be good this year. He needs to cut down strikeouts. I used to give Cardozo a hard time because he would say, you wouldn't believe how far he hit a ball in batting practice. And I'm like, does it count for a run? No. So I don't care. Tell me when he hits it in the game. And he did hit a bunch. But he needs to be good. There's a lot of guys like that. If they can, they could be really good next year, and especially if a guy like Chris Armstrong has a big year. All right, so thanks again to the Adams Ribco sponsored, Adams Ribco to Go sponsored Gator of the Week. Finally, as we wrap it up here from the Shackau Mercandone Studios at the Coach's Podcast Room at Spurrier's Gridiron Grille, the Leonardo's at Millhopper, quick picks. It's getting interesting now, peeps. We got games. We got real games of football to talk about and deal with. So it's a pretty easy one this week. I think I even hinted that I was going to do this game Saturday. The Jaguars are playing. And I'm actually excited about it. I'm usually not excited about the Jaguars, but I am excited. Because start of football, Jaguars against the Cleveland Browns. I think the Jaguars are actually slight favorites, but I'm not going to do it with the spreads. I'm just doing it. Jaguars at home against Cleveland. Who do you got? All you got to do is give me a quick answer. I will be getting the prize package to our winner last week. Was it Charles Cohen? I can't remember. I got it written down. Don't worry, you'll get it. And I got your address. I just have been busy and hectic and everything else. All right, so now I have completed my first podcast from the Coach's Podcast Room. I feel kind of excited about that, Evan. And Evan's, of course, done a great job. Evan is in charge of everything here, from what I've been able to tell so far. But we'll be back again with a Monday show. Can't wait for it. Tom Green's going to join us from AL.com. And again, next Friday, Taylor Jacobs will join us. So we're going to keep them going, pounding out these podcasts, and I hope you guys enjoyed it. We'll be back on Monday. Until then, I am Pat Dooley. I'm deep, I'm way back, and I am out of here.